investigating clover distribution. What do we mean when we say distribution? What do you think? Distribution just means in biology and ecology, it means where they're found. So we're talking about the distribution of the white clover, and we're trying to explain and understand why or which ones we see and where we see them. There are two variants. Now, do we see any pattern on, is one variant only found here, is the other variant only found here, and then explaining why that is. So based on the data presented above and the differences in habitat between Minnesota and North Carolina, propose a hypothesis to explain each of the following. A, the higher frequency of plain clover in Minnesota, and B, the higher frequency of cyanide-producing striped clover in North Carolina. Stand up, please.
I was thinking, because in Minnesota they don't have much predators, and in North Carolina they have lots of predators. So I was thinking that
Now, is this what you were thinking, or what she was thinking?
This is what I was thinking.
Okay.
So I was thinking that in North Carolina, they, all the plain clovers, they were able to evolve because they're all being eaten. So for them not to be eaten, they have to evolve and become whites. They have to produce cyanide. So I was thinking, because there's a lot of predators in North Carolina, and these plants were able to evolve and were able to make cyanides, because that's why they have what is that? They have a large percentage of cyanide producing clovers in that area. But in Minnesota, they only have a less percentage of cyanide producing clover, and they also have a small, not many. They don't have much predators there. So most of them are white clover. Just
They're plain.
Yeah, just plain.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. You made some really good points there. Now let's talk about this in light of what our answer key tells us. So, hypothesis 1 would be the frequency of plain clover is higher in Minnesota because freezing damages the leaves. And in the striped variant, this would cause cyanide to be released and kill the plant. Some of that came up earlier in the discussion. If you got poison and you're in a freezing climate, you're going to kill yourself. Another possible hypothesis would be the frequency of plain clover is higher in Minnesota because there are fewer snails, which I think is what you were saying, fewer predators, so it's not worth it to the plant to put energy into producing the white stripe, whereas there were more snails in North Carolina, right? So the frequency of striped clover is higher in North Carolina because of increased herbivory. Isn't that what you were saying? That because there was an increased pressure from the herbivores, natural selection selected for those few organisms excuse me, in the population that could protect themselves. And so there may have been some who had this ability to have some nasty tasting chemicals in there, and all the others got eaten. So those that survived reproduced, and then their offspring had the same thing. So there are more snails and slugs in North Carolina, so the plain plants would more likely be eaten and destroyed.